Hemen Kapadia and Jagannathan Thununguntla are here with us. They will be with us in the next 30 minutes. Afternoon, gentlemen, and thanks so much for joining in. Our first query is from Shabir Mankandar. He calls us from Kolhapur. Hi, Shabir.
Hi, namaskar.
Namaskar. पूछेंगे आपका सवाल?
मेरा सवाल है, मेरे जेपी एसोसिएट्स के 6,500 शेयर थे.
ओके.
35 रुपीज में बाय किया है.
ओके.
इसे मैं होल्ड करूं या स्विच करूं, ये चाहिए था.
Okay, Jagannathan, what would you recommend? He's making a bit of a loss. He seems okay to switch. Would you recommend that?
One thing is, even the market overall picked up. The infra space is still not doing that well. Out of that, I think JP Associates particularly is having its own tough challenges. I think analysts are still trying to figure out what's the how the company will be eventually able to come out of all the debt-related problems. So all in all, I think still the answers are not clear. I suggest probably he should move on. Whenever there is a hard bounce that comes in the stocks, he should use one of those bounces to exit the stock and move to some other better quality name.
Okay, and hi gentlemen, good afternoon. Hemen, what's your take on JP Associates? What are the levels you see going ahead?
Afternoon, Sumaira. I think JP, I agree with Jagannathan, because JP hasn't gone anywhere. It doesn't look like going anywhere, Sumaira. Has been a woeful underperformer, deeply oversold, but that can't be the soul saving grace, because even if it's oversold, does not mean it's going to recover. So I would suggest a sell or a sell on bounce sideways.
All right, that's the word on JP Associates, but we have a caller who wants to talk about another group company. Sudhir Mishra calls in from Chhattisgarh, and he has a query on Jaiprakash Power. Hi, Sudhir.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your question?
Ma'am, I have 500 shares of Jaiprakash Power Ventures Limited at the rate of 14 rupees 70 paise.
Okay.
And I want to know the future prospect of the company.
Okay, are you a long-term investor? Are you a trader?
Yeah. I can hold the share for at least a year.
Okay, Hemen, do you see these levels of 14 plus or even 15 in the next 1 year on the stock?
I think so. Sumaira, that seems possible, but not too much beyond that. We've been in this range between 10.5 and 16 for the past couple of months, Sumaira. Once again has stagnated. If 10.5 breaks, I know that's far away, but if that breaks, that's trouble. Otherwise, currently getting slightly oversold. I'd suggest a hold, but I would suggest a exit at break even. I'm not sure if I would want to wait for a year in markets like these when the stock just doesn't perform.
I hope that 10.5 level doesn't come through, because if it does, then he would be making a loss of nearly 30%. But Jagannathan, would you have a recommendation on JP Power, some advice for him?
The same logic that we discussed for JP Associates holds good for the JP Power as well. So we have to remember that a stock falling should not be the sole reason for you to enter. Many investors and many market participants have this tendency to get into the stock for the single most reason that the stock has fallen a lot. If good company falls, you should use one of those dips to buy, and not necessarily every stock. So I think the same logic of JP Associates holds good. I think he should move on whenever he gets that opportunity to exit on a bounce.
Paramveer Singh, he calls us from New Delhi. Hi, Mr. Singh.
Yeah, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
मेरे पास मैम टोरेंट पावर के 50 शेयर है at the rate of 160.
Okay.
और ये मैंने अभी तकरीबन 2 महीने पहले खरीदे हुए हैं. अभी मैं जानना चाह रहा हूँ कि 1 ईयर के टाइम पर्सपेक्टिव में क्या आगे खर्चा हो रहेगा.
Okay, Hemen, your thoughts on Torrent Power with a 1-year time horizon? In the last 2 months, the Torrent Power hasn't done too much, which is why he's actually, not making money. He's in fact lost a bit. What do you think the stock will do in the next 1 year? And therefore, your recommendation?
Yes, Seema, I think it seems like a clear hold. We've been moving sideways for almost 6.5, 7 months. As of now, it looks like a consolidation phase, but for this to fructify, we need a closing above 174 on the weekly chart, or at least 2 days on the daily chart, and then a sustainability above that level. So simply put, I suggest to hold a close above 174 would trigger or would sort of confirm this bullish prognosis. We're looking at a price target of at least 30% from there over the next 1 year. So I would suggest to hold at current levels.
Okay, Jagannathan, you had a chance to go through the Power Minister's comments, and what's the upside that you see for Torrent Power and related stocks?
Whoever is betting on this new government, I think they should bet on the power sector, because if you give the time for next 4 or 5 years, I think this government will do their level best to bring the power sector as much back as possible. So we have to remember that the whole Gujarat story was based on the power story. So I think the same thing probably will be replicated at the central level. So some of these stocks will test your patience. As said that for the last 6 to 8 months it was in consolidation. The same may be applicable for 6 to 8 months. But make no mistake, if you have patience for 3 or 4 years, some of these stocks can be truly multi-baggers.
Okay, let's get in the next query then that we have. Okay, it's on Gujarat Gas. Uday Chandar calls us from Faridabad. Hi, Uday. Uday?
Afternoon. Hello.
Hi, Uday. We can hear you.
Good afternoon. I'm holding 100 shares of Gujarat Gas.
Okay.
I purchased at the rate of 382 sometime in April 2014.
Wow.
Yesterday there was a big jump. So my query to you is whether I should hold on or shall I encash the profit now?
Okay. There's just one request. We can hear the echo because I believe your TV perhaps is on. So if it is, if you could just, switch off the TV and, hear your answer from the phone.
In fact, I am in the office, not at my home.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. So, guys, he's gotten in at a very good level just in a span of few months that he's making a near 100% return. Jagannathan, what would the recommendation be from here on?
I think in bull markets, this question always comes in many stocks. I think if nobody knows up to what levels the stocks can move on, because that's the sign of classic bull markets. So I think unless he is in need of money, I think he can hold on, be there. I think psychologically you can fix a rate below which I will be selling. So keep that rate as a minimum benchmark up to which you are ready to accept the fall, and beyond which otherwise you keep open all the upside open, because difficult to spot up to what levels the stock will rally. If you tend to exit now, I think you may miss the lot of juice upside.
All right, and Hemen, you track Gujarat Gas. What's the upside you see from here? Advisable to stay on for a little more profit?
Yes, Sumaira. I think we've posted a fresh all-time high yesterday itself, Sumaira. Short, medium, long-term uptrend. There aren't any known resistance levels, but if I use a little bit of the projections, then I think we are heading towards 710 or so. Decent to good support comes in at 580 and 540, so I would suggest to hold. There aren't any signs of reversals, Sumaira, so things seem fine. Not in the way it is moved yesterday, but yeah, we are in an established uptrend with no hiccups as of now, even anticipated hiccups.
All right. Up next, we have an SMS query. Rajiv Bhasin has written to us from Lucknow. He says he has 500 shares of PFC, which he's bought at 14 rupees a share, and now wants to know if he should remain invested or book some profit. So he's making a near 1.5 lakh rupee profit on this stock. Hemen, what's your advice? Book partial profits now?
No, Sumaira, I think we've seen a cooler from 340 to 220, which was a bull market retracement correction, however you term it. We are heading towards 340 and more over the longer term. So if he's he has been holding it for quite some time, obviously. So if he can hold it for some more time, I think it's a hold. I don't see a problem. We are heading for a further upside. Yes.
Okay, and Jagannathan, your view on PFC?
So these are the classic investors who represent as a case study for long-term investing in good names. I think with the dividends itself over the last so many years, I'm sure he must have recovered all his investments. So make no mistake, all his now whatever money he will get is free money. I think these are the classic family silvers. It makes sense to leave to the kids and grandkids. Don't think about selling.
Agni Mitra Ghosh has called in from Kolkata with a query on Assoc Leyland. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, what's your question?
गुड आफ्टरनून मैम, मैं वो अशोक लेलैंड का 200 पीस शेयर खरीदा था 2 हफ्ते पहले.
ठीक है.
49.65 के भाव में.
ओके.
तो अभी तो शेयर 56 तक गया था. अभी फिर से वो 40-50 तक चलेगा. तो मैडम कितने दिन तक ये ऊपर उठ सकता है?
Okay, Jagannathan, what's your take on Assoc Leyland? You think someone who's bought it recently can remain invested, I mean, considering the good tidings that are coming in for this sector?
If somebody is betting on automobile revival thanks to the underlying economy revival, I think he should have the patience for 2 to 3 years. It's not a, make no mistake, not a 10-15 days or 20 days kind of argument. I think one should have that kind of outlook. I think Assoc Leyland has spent a lot of time around the 25 rupee level. Finally, it has come to this 50 levels. I think if he already bought at that 50 level, I think he should hold on to take the full advantage of the automobile sector revival.
Okay, and Hemen, what would your recommendation be?
I'd suggest to hold Rima 12 to 56. I think it's going to take some time to take a breather, and it's going to be a pretty decently long breather at that. So not bad. We posted a fresh all-time high, long-term uptrend. Everything is hunky-dory. But like I said, 12 to 56 is pretty large for it to digest. I think it could go into a prolonged consolidation phase. So hold for the long term.
Okay, that's the view coming through on Assoc Leyland. By the way, let's pull up Bajaj Auto. That stock has actually rallied suddenly in the last few minutes. So Bajaj Auto now has a rally of close to about 1.1%. The gains coming through on that one just as we speak. And crude continues to remain under pressure. Earlier in the morning, it was hovering around levels of 76.5 dollars per barrel, and now it's dipped even further ahead of the OPEC meet. So pressure on crude persists, which is why the likes of BPCL are higher by close to about 2.5%. But moving on, Rajiv Sharma has written to us from Bangalore. He's got 100 shares of Crompton Greaves. He's bought it at a price of 141. He wants to know how long he should hold on to it. So he's making some money. It looks like Rajiv wants to stay invested. So what would be an appropriate time horizon, and what can be the kind of return he can expect?
Firstly, you have to hold Rima for some time. A very large trading range between 170 on the downside and 230 on the upside, and this range has been in motion for the past 6 months. Don't see it break. I don't see it break on either side for some time. We need to close about 206 and sustain for a crack at 230. So I think one can expect a price target of 240 to 250, but this could take 6 to 9 months coming, Rima.
Jagannathan, what's your take on Crompton Greaves? You think there could be better tidings?
Yeah, as a company, the company had a rough patch 2 to 3 years back, and slowly I think the company could be able to repair lots of damage. I think slowly coming back, I think in that recovery process, I think lots of good news must be following up Crompton Greaves sooner than later. One can expect that the stock should be benefiting from this news. I feel that one should hold on. I think a lot of better times, both in terms of company and stock, are waiting to come.
Stay invested in Crompton Greaves. That seems to be the consensus advice. But for the markets, it's inching higher. So let's pull up the intraday chart. It's now moving towards the high point of the day. It's back into the green. Some gains in the last few minutes led by the likes of a Bajaj Auto. You've got gains in a Cipla, in a Tata Power, Kotak Mahindra Bank, a BPCL, Hero MotoCorp, M&M. These are few stocks which have started moving with strength. So watch for the markets as well. Amol Patil has got a question for our guest. He's written to us from Goa. He has 200 shares of Strides Arcolab, which he's bought at a price of 638. He is a long-term investor, and he wants to know whether he should continue holding on to it. So he's making some money. Jagannathan, would you recommend that he stays invested, and what could be the kind of return? Just earlier in the morning, we had Macquarie, which raised the target price on Strides, I think, to 1150. What would be your target price on Strides?
Yeah, he can hold on, but we should remember in middle of all this deal news and all that, the stock, the bottom is sort of protected. So how much upside is only time can tell, but I think he can stay invested.
All right, and Hemen, you track Strides Arcolab. Till what targets do you see? Just this morning, Macquarie has released a report with the target upwards of 1100.
I'd suggest to hold, Seema. In terms of targets, we need to take out 800 decisively. In the sense, a two-week closing above 800 could open the doors for 950 and 1000. So maybe 1150 is here on the horizon, but currently that's not technically visible to me. But yes, above 800, we see a decent, if not a good upside, Sumaya.